Welcome to the Broadway.com show, your essential guide to all things on stage. I'm Ryan Lee Gilbert.
And I'm Imogen Lloyd-Webber. This week we chat with the stars of Tom Stoppard's Travesties, learn Waitress secrets from Christopher Fitzgerald, and more.
And later we sit down with Rise star Damon J. Gillespie. But first, let's get started with the news. What's the buzz, Imogen?
Turns out the UK wants to be in the room where it happens. The Hamilton transfer across the pond has garnered 13 Olivier Award nominations, the most in Olivier history. The Ferryman was the most lauded play with 8 nods. Other productions which had cause for celebration include Angels in America, currently on Broadway, along with the London transfers of Oslo and An American in Paris. Main stem legend Audra McDonald received a nomination for her West End debut for Lady Day. And new tuner Everybody's Talking About Jamie, which, well, every theatre industry insider is talking about, picked up 5 nods including Best Musical. Trust us, that's one to watch. The ceremony is scheduled for April the 8th at the Royal Albert Hall, hosted by Catherine Tate.
Wasn't Andrew Garfield nominated?
Yes, for Angels in America.
Well, everyone may be talking about Jamie, but I think everyone's thinking about Andrew.
Yes, we know you are.
This week, lots of new casting was announced for some anticipated new shows, and we're excited to fill you in on who's joining what. Elizabeth Stanley will star in the world premiere of Jagged Little Pill, featuring the songs of Alanis Morissette. The Diane Paulus-helmed musical, which features a book by Juno Oscar winner Diablo Cody, will premiere at the American Repertory Theatre in Cambridge, Massachusetts on May 5th. Tony and Oscar nominee Stephen Rea will return to the Public Theater this summer in Cypress Avenue. Written by David Ireland and directed by Vicky Featherstone. Described as a horrifyingly entertaining look at bigotry gone mad, the play will also feature Chris Corrigan and Amy Malloy. And Rock of Ages' Mitchell Jarvis will return to Broadway this summer to star as Mitch in Getting the Band Back Together, joining Jay Clates, Paul Whitty, and Sawyer Nunez, who will play Juggernaut band members along with a 5th and final actor yet to be announced. Directed by John Rando, Getting the Band Back Together will begin July 19th at the Belasco Theatre.
What's the difference between Rock of Ages and Getting the Band Back Together?
Well, only one of these musicals features the song Every Rose Has Its Thorn.
Probably for the best. The Ferryman, which you've just heard has received 8 Olivier nods, has set its Broadway dates. The latest much-lauded play by Jez Butterworth will land at the Bernard B. Jacobs Theatre, with previews beginning on October the 2nd. Opening night is set for October the 21st. Helmed by Sam Mendes, The Ferryman takes place in the early 80s in Northern Ireland, where the Carney farmhouse is prepping for the annual harvest and a festive feast. This year, however, the celebrations are halted by an unexpected visitor. No word yet on casting, we will keep you posted.
NBC's live broadcast of Bye Bye Birdie has once again been delayed, with no air date on the horizon until 2019 at the earliest. The telecast was originally set to air in December 2017, before an initial push to 2018. As with the first delay, the new production timeline is a result of scheduling difficulties with Jennifer Lopez, who is tapped to produce and star as Rosie. NBC will follow its first 4 live musicals, The Sound of Music, Peter Pan, The Wiz, and Hairspray, with a concert presentation of Jesus Christ Superstar airing Easter Sunday, April 1st, with a cast that includes John Legend, Sarah Bareilles, and Brandon Victor Dixon. A live presentation of Aaron Sorkin's A Few Good Men is also in the works with the Peacock Network.
Stage and screen star Vicki Lewis is heading back to Broadway in Anastasia as Countess Lily from March 27th. Meanwhile, original company member Zach Adkins, who understudies the role of Dimitri, will take over the role full-time on that date. The duo replaces Caroline O'Connor and Derek Klenner, who are departing the Broadhurst Theatre on March 25th. And over at the Music Box, Phoenix Best is set to step in as Alana Beck in Dear Evan Hansen from March 13th. She takes over for original cast member Kristen Lloyd, who will play her final performance on March 11th. Good for you, all.
Helena York has signed on for the upcoming City Center Encore's presentation of the 1989 musical Grand Hotel. York will take on the role of Flumption in the upcoming production, replacing the previously announced Stephanie Styles, who has exited the production due to a conflict. Directed and choreographed by Josh Rhodes, Grand Hotel will run March 21st through the 25th at New York City Center. Tony nominee Maren Ireland and House of Cards actor Nathan Darrow will star in the off-Broadway revival of Tennessee Williams' Summer in Smoke as Elma Weinmiller and Dr. John Buchanan, respectively. The co-production between Classic Stage Company and Transport Group will begin performances at CSC on April 13th. And former Broadway.com vlogger Frankie J. Grande is joining the cast of Off-Broadway's Cruel Intentions the Musical in the role of Blaine Tuttle beginning March 18th. Grande, who will replace departing cast member Alex Boniello, will play the part through the rest of the show's engagement, which was recently extended for the third and final time through April 8th at Le Poisson Rouge. Plans for a national tour are also in the works.
When we come back, we head downtown to get the scoop on the low road, meet LaChanze and the stars of Summer, the Donna Summer Musical, and more.
This week on Broadway.com, Escape to Margaritaville vlogger Paul Alexander Nolan takes us behind the scenes in the first episode of Beach Bum. A Bronx Tale's Adam Kaplan puts his dukes up at an awesome photo shoot, and more.
The New York Times calls it brilliant, dazzling, and boldly theatrical, and one of the best Broadway shows of the year, SpongeBob SquarePants, the nautical musical spectacle that Broadway's fallen for, hook, line, and sinker. The Hollywood Reporter says it had me grinning like an idiot. Imagine what it can do for you.
Hi, I'm Tina Fey, and you're watching the Broadway.com show.
Welcome back. The life and career of Donna Summer is in the spotlight this spring as Summer, the Donna Summer Musical, bows on Broadway. We got a sneak peek inside the rehearsal room with stars LaChanze, Ariana DeBose, and Storm Lever, who all played the legendary Queen of Disco at different points in her life. Get ready for some hot stuff.
It's the story of an American musical icon that you are going to love. Not only are you going to love her music, not only going to be dancing and singing along, you're going to cry, you're going to laugh, you're going to learn, you're going to be proud and inspired.
It is Donna Summer getting to take control of her narrative. We all know the music, we all love the music, and now we get to find out the woman behind the hit songs.
We wanted to get underneath this icon and let people know things that they didn't know about her. They came for the music, but they're going to walk away with a whole lot more, which I think is great.
I think her story works so well as a show because the music she made for her audience was the music of her life as well. I don't think she would have said that at the time, but it's true.
Her life is so interesting. Things I had no idea about. The songs marry to the story so well that every audience member is on the edge of their seat learning about this woman, but then they get that music, and so they have these smiles and this energy.
It's a very, very exciting canvas to work on, and I hope audiences will find that too. And I don't mean just audiences that remember that period. I think for young audiences too.
The show's three leading ladies told us why they can't wait to share this diva's story with audiences.
There are three of us telling her story. There's Duckling Donna, played by Storm, Disco Donna, played by Ariana, and I play Diva Donna. And we come in and out of the story at different stages in her life, but we also are relating to each other.
We get to break down each facet of herself. We get to show the diva version that doesn't know how to own her whole life, the disco version that is that glam and wonderful woman that had this career happen to her, and the Duckling version that's an insecure, scared little girl that knows she loves music but doesn't know if she's worthy of being a part of this industry.
We're taking you back to the 70s and all the way through the 80s, you know, and we're also giving you a look into the human that this incredible icon actually was.
Nothing is more delicious than a backstage sneak peek on Broadway. Waitress funny man Christopher Fitzgerald recently welcomed us at the Brooks Atkinson Theater to reveal behind-the-scenes secrets about the piping hot hit. For instance, did you know that the cast comes up with a brand new pie name before every single show? You do now. Sink your teeth into that and other fun tidbits about the Sara Bareilles musical.
Hi, this is Christopher Fitzgerald. I play Ogie in Waitress the Musical, and you're about to find out 5 secrets about our show here, so come with me. This is interesting here at Waitress. A lot of times stage managers, they call the show from out in front of the house or sometimes right off on the side of the stage, but here at Waitress, we have a little secret, which is this cool entrance up to a little cupola where the stage managers hide and call the show. Come on. It's like Phantom of the Opera. So this is where the stage manager keeps their call script. They have tons of monitors up here, and this is where they call the show, flipping all these little switches for cue lights. I mean, this is pretty cool. There's a ladder here that goes up to even another secret area, but that's a super secret thing here at Waitress, and I just can't talk about it. There's some really weird stuff that happens up there. This next secret, involves a friend of mine, a fellow cast member, Joe Tippett, who plays Earl in the show. And Earl is a guitar player, and if you want to play a few chords for them, as you can see, this guitar is not real and does not sound very good. But that's because Joe does something to this guitar. And would you like to demonstrate that for us, Joe Tippett? Yeah. How's that for a secret? He's not actually that strong. It's because it's a fake guitar. All right, this is your next secret here at Waitress. This is the gynecologist's office, Dr. Pomader's office. And here is the door, the entrance and exit to the office. But little do you know, what a secret. It also doubles as our Waitress kitchen in the diner. Well, here we are in the kitchen at the diner, and there's lots of secrets that we're not even going to get into. I mean, these are not real eggs. You know, this stove does not turn on. Ah! No, actually, it does not turn on. But one secret that is very interesting is, as a company, we name a pie every night before we begin our show, and each pie that we name is written on this wall here. Last secret: there is an egg that is broken on stage in front of the audience every night. So instead of breaking an actual egg, here at Waitress, there was many hours in the lab to figure this one out. But it's there's the yolk and egg white of the egg, and it's actually a slice of peach with I think with like some corn syrup in there. How about that? How about that? That is a secret. So when you come, just know that no little baby chickens are being harmed in the making of Waitress the Musical. All right, that was our 5 secrets from Waitress the Musical. Please join us at the Brooks Atkinson Theater, and you will have a load of fun, and there will be no secrets. It will be amazing.
Tom Stoppard's stirring play Travesties is back on Broadway, starring Tom Hollander as Henry Carr, an elderly man who reminisces about Zurich during World War I. The wry comedy follows his interactions with several of history's power players, including Tristan Tzara, James Joyce and Vladimir Lenin. Though it references a number of historical figures and events, audiences are actually in for a night of gut-busting comedy. We recently chatted with director Patrick Marber and the cast to get the scoop on the production.
What happens in this show is that this guy, Henry Carr, played by Tom Hollander, remembers his glorious youth in Zurich in 1917 during World War I. And because he's very old, he misremembers some of his glorious youth.
It's a silly nonsense show full of very clever ideas and very silly ideas. And it's a kind of vaudeville act, a parlour game set in a parlour of literary and political ideas flying around.
I think the reason it's not as highbrow as people might be scared into thinking it is because it's so incredibly silly and fun and sexy and exciting.
I think the particular insanity of this play is that, yes, you are going to hear me talk about the Russian Revolution, but I'm going to be doing it whilst doing something called the sexy book dance.
Travesties is a serious comedy, or you could say it's an intellectual farce, and it deals with both high and low comedy. You know, it's not averse to a crude joke, and it's not averse to a highfalutin intellectual joke.
Travesties bowed on Broadway in 1975. The cast shared what makes a Stoppard play relevant now.
Well, the play is so timely. I think it's a blessing to be able to have comedy and this whirligig of a play to be entertained at the same time you're having to process troubling issues.
At a time when maybe some people are trying to provide easy answers and reverting back to certain dogmatisms and nationalisms, Travesties is an entertaining reminder that really life is about so much more than that narrow point of view.
Hollander starred in an acclaimed London run of Travesties. Director Marber and the cast told us why they're excited for Broadway audiences to see the production.
Well, I've always found Broadway audiences to be very up for it and warm and engaged, and I think they're going to be shocked at how funny it is, and how romantic it is and how sexy it is, and they're going to find in Stoppard something that they might not have felt before.
I just think that there's so much joy in our room, in the rehearsal room so far, that I think that joy will be undeniable as we move onto the stage, and hopefully people that are coming to see it.
And this production, Patrick Marber's production of this play is really works, and so want as many people to see it as possible.
Bruce Norris's The Low Road imagines a young man inspired by a chance encounter with economist Adam Smith. His path to riches becomes entangled with that of an educated slave, a man who knows from experience that one person's profit is another's loss. We headed to the Public Theater to talk to director Michael Greif and the stars.
Oh, this play is a fantastic, juicy, picaresque tale. It's about the birth and education of a young man named Jim Truitt. He's still quite a young man at the end of the play, and it's a lot about how he garners a philosophy and how he puts that philosophy into some use.
Setting it in that world around the time of Adam Smith and the incubation, as it were, of economics as we know it is very fascinating, because although it's in 1750, it could be in 1950, it could be in 2050. I mean, that's the beauty of it.
The play is rooted in economics, but as in Adam Smith's, in his own words, things happen that you don't intend, and so they go a different way, and it's light, it's fun, it's informative. You find out things you didn't know, I hope, and it makes you interested, to find out more, because it is the world we're in right now.
With 17 actors and 50 roles and a time-traveling plot, the stars of The Low Road cover a lot of ground.
Bruce does have us doing very different things, which is very nice. So you're not treading in your own territory again, although people are sometimes socioeconomically in different positions, or they may represent similar things from one era to another, or from one scene to another.
It has a lot of the demands of a musical or like a Shakespeare play, just in terms of managing large communities and making sure that focus and clarity is always clear, but within a really raucous and really fun and what I hope feels like a loose structure.
When we return, we get to know Damon J. Gillespie of NBC's new musical TV series, Rise.
The New York Times calls it brilliant, dazzling and boldly theatrical, and one of the best Broadway shows of the year, SpongeBob SquarePants, the nautical musical spectacle that Broadway's fallen for, hook, line, and sinker. The Hollywood Reporter says it had me grinning like an idiot. Imagine what it can do for you.
NBC is premiering a new drama series tailor-made for Broadway fans. Rise, which premieres on March 13th, tells the story of a teacher who takes over his high school's drama program and winds up inspiring his students with the magic of theater. Damon J. Gillespie has performed on Broadway in the ensembles of Newsies and Aladdin, but is featured in Rise as a high school quarterback who finds himself starring in the school musical. Gillespie recently came to the Broadway.com studios to tell us more about this hotly anticipated new show. Damon, thank you for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
So good to see you. Wow, congratulations.
Thank you.
Look at you, you're on a poster for a hot new NBC show.
I know, it's pretty insane. It's really crazy.
All right, take me back. Now I know that you've been on Broadway. You've been in the ensemble on Broadway,
yes,
right?
Sir.
You were in Newsies, you were in Aladdin. How did this happen? I know that Rise was like a big hot property. I know there was Broadway people involved with it.
Yeah.
But so what happened? You just went in for an audition?
Well, I had been auditioning for more principal roles for a few months, because when I was in Aladdin, I actually got injured during the show.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I was like, I probably can't do this for a long time. So I definitely had told my agent I want to try and go for principal roles, and I had been auditioning for them, and I had been doing more and more and more, and I got this audition, and I booked it. Like,
yeah.
So it was incredible, and it's been an incredible ride.
So let's talk about Rise. So you play Robbie.
I do.
And you're the high school quarterback.
Yeah.
And Josh Radnor plays a drama teacher who he takes over the drama department.
Right.
And inspires sort of the whole town and the school. And you're sort of the sports guy who winds up in the show, which is funny because I've interviewed a lot of Broadway actors who tell me that's sort of how they started. They started as like an athlete, and then maybe they couldn't play suddenly, and then they ended up in the drama department. So I feel like that is sort of a story that you hear a lot.
Well, it kind of happens. I mean, it happened with me. Like, I played sports growing up, but I was a dancer as well. I was primarily a dancer.
Yeah.
And then I discovered musical theater, and there comes a time when you're in 9th grade where you go, I've stopped growing. Probably not going to be in football. Probably not going to be in basketball. Don't play baseball enough. Can't run that fast. All right, well, I think I'm going to have to choose theater over this. So it happens more often than I guess people think it does.
Yeah. So Robbie was very easy for you to sort of click into.
Yes. There are a lot of parallels that Robbie and I share, but there are a lot of things that we don't share. Like, he kind of grew up very affluent, and he's, but that doesn't mean he doesn't have his baggage and his trials and tribulations. Like, he has stuff going on in his life that he is not allowed to share with the public. Like, that's in his persona, because he has this image. And when you come from, small town football, you don't show emotion. Like, you're kind of trained not to do that. It took me a minute actually to discover who Robbie was, and once I finally did, I was like, I remember being this way, and I remember my family members and my friends who were this way, and I know how it feels to have something traumatic happen to you, and you are not allowed to let it bleed into everyday life.
Right. Now, theater kids are just going to love this. I mean, it's like perfect for Broadway fans.
Oh, yeah. Especially, like, our demographic with the show we're doing Spring Awakening.
Yeah, I know. I was going to say
like,
that. You're in the show.
Right.
You're performing Spring Awakening.
Right. Well, and as a theater kid, like, that's like because Spring Awakening came out right when I was in high school.
Yeah.
So that was our rent. That was our Hair and Rock of Ages or whatever. Yeah, they all have it. But Spring Awakening has just kept it going. It's like, that's the show that you listen to as a teenager when you're doing theater. And so I think theater kids and theater students, people doing this in general, are going to go, oh, I know exactly what that's like. Or you're walking down the halls and you're singing the song of Purple Summer at the top of your lungs, and everybody's like, why are you screaming? Like, relax. Like, so.
And you have your own connection with Spring Awakening. So you grew up in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and that's really where you started doing theater. You did a lot of shows down there, right?
Yes, sir.
So I loved you called me sir. You just showed up. You're a good Tennessee boy.
And
you actually did Spring Awakening.
I did.
You were Melchior in Spring Awakening, and in Rise you are
Melchior in
Spring Awakening,
so
which I love.
Worked out.
And who was your Wendla when you did Spring Awakening down in Chattanooga?
My Wendla was my now fiance, Grace Kling.
That's adorable.
We actually met doing Spring Awakening the summer before my sophomore year of college, and I was in Chicago doing, in school, came home, found the show, found her. We kind of stayed in touch when I went back to school and fell in love.
So what's the dream? I mean, obviously getting a role like this on TV is a dream. Hopefully you'll still come on and do Broadway shows.
Yes.
You're going Hollywood on us.
Yes.
Do you have any dream roles?
I do. I have a few, actually.
We can make them come true if you verbalize them.
Please. Gabe in Next to Normal has always been like a dream, a dream for me.
Okay.
As soon as a spot opens up in Hamilton, I'll go in. I'll beg for that. Any role, even I'll go back into the ensemble. I'm not joking.
Well, in the pilot of Rise, you actually are rapping, and we get to see that a little bit. That's sort of what makes them notice you.
Like, I had to audition with a rap too, which not many people know, but I write my own raps. So.
Yeah, and Rise is actually created by Jeffrey Seller, the producer of Hamilton. So you might
he's
have
a part of it, right?
At Hamilton.
Right. So I'm like, Jeffrey, come on. Oh, I think the dream, my one true if I can't get Gabe and Next to Normal,
Yeah.
it's someone bring the perfect rendition of the Michael Jackson musical to Broadway. I got you. I got your move. I got your dancing. I got his voice. I got.
You could do that, Michael Jackson.
Let's go. I got it.
Let's go. That's a good idea.
Yeah, I'm
All
down
right.
for it. Like,
Okay.
come on, let me play Michael. Let me play Michael.
Well, right now you are Robbie.
I am Robbie.
And everyone really needs to check out this show. What are you like telling your friends like about this? Like it's really sort of like everything for the people
Right.
watching this on Broadway.com.
Get your tissues. Yeah. It's a Jason Kadam show, and if you didn't watch Friday Night Lights or Parenthood, just get ready because we're taking This Is Us' slot. So you're not going to get any relief. Like, oh yes, finally we get. Like, it's very inspiring, but there are some heartbreaking moments on the show.
Okay.
And I think every person is going to relate to somebody, and that's the beautiful thing about Jason's work is that no matter what, you are going to relate to somebody in this TV show.
So it premieres on the 13th, March
Does.
13th, and then it's going to be on Tuesdays at NBC. Congratulations. Can't wait to see you on TV every week.
Thank you. Me
Thank
too.
you. Thank you for coming by.
Thanks for having me.
When we come back, we get a sneak peek performance from Summer, the Donna Summer musical.
The New York Times calls it brilliant, dazzling, and boldly theatrical, and one of the best Broadway shows of the year. SpongeBob SquarePants, the nautical musical spectacle that Broadway's fallen for, hook, line, and sinker. The Hollywood Reporter says it had me grinning like an idiot. Imagine what it can do for you.
I am Condola Rashad, and you are watching the Broadway.com show.
Thank you for watching the Broadway.com show.
We leave you with a fabulous performance from the stars of Summer, the Donna Summer musical.
See you next week.
It took so